anybody you think you want to talk to, just shoot for the stars, because really no one's doing anything.
Well, so just thank you so much for being a part of Test Talks. Appreciate it so much. So the first question I have for you, obviously, so Oval is being renewed for season 2.
So grateful. Again, thank you guys.
Yes, congratulations. So, I mean, what's next for Jean? Honestly, obviously in season 1, what is next for her? Because I know after the last episode, the Scream, I was like, it has to be more that's coming, because I feel like this is just the beginning. I feel like it's so much more that's coming. So what's next for her?
That's it. You answered it. There's so much more. There's so much more in this season. So we don't even need to discuss season 2 yet, because there's so much more in this season. There's so much more in the season for everybody. But for Jean, she's a lot more to see and do and clean, and a lot more facial expressions to make.
I mean, do you feel like Jean is like your real character, kind of? Or is just...
For sure. Jean is, yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Wow. Because sometimes I feel like maybe the characters are a little bit different, but it's crazy how you and Jean are similar in so many ways. So it's easy for you kind of to tap into that.
For sure. She's quiet. I'm a Gemini. I'm not really into signs. But if I had to say, I would say my 2 sides are not mean and nice, but they're hyper and outgoing, and then a complete introvert, which is why I'm fine during this quarantine. But Jean is similar, but hers are for a reason. She's quiet and hyper because she works in the White House, and then she has a life. So we have similarities in that way.
Wow, that's amazing. So I mean, so how was life just growing up, and how did that mold you to be who you are, especially in your career now?
I would say the main thing that molded me outside of my parents would be church and tennis. So every day after school, you could find me in West Fairmount Park in West Philly playing tennis every day after school, every weekend, church. And that type of discipline kind of just molds you, and it keeps you patient and it keeps you focused.
Wow, tennis. So how many years did you play?
Tennis?
Yeah.
I mean, I played straight probably for about 22 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I suck at tennis.
For how old you think I am, but yeah, I played tennis for a really long time. Yeah. I mean, I still play, but I mean, I was playing with a purpose before.
Okay, so then how did you transition to like acting?
I always wanted to act. I always say this. I only wanted to do 2 things in life: act and play tennis. So I started playing tennis when I was 9. I wanted to be on Barney when I was 9. And so the 2 kind of always coincided. You know, I did church plays. I did just anything that I could do. I was making up stuff in my room. You know, I was on the radio. I was interning at the radio station. So just something to stay involved in the industry, which I've been in at this point for 20 years. That's really weird. But yeah, so then acting. So then I studied it in college. I moved to LA, and I kind of just started from there.
And you talk about discipline, because I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, when you're choosing a specific career path, you need to be disciplined. You need to be
disciplined to be a clown. To be a clown in the circus, you need to have discipline. You need discipline in every area of life. So yes, that's a big word for me.
Wow. Yeah, because I've played basketball, so I understand discipline, trust me. But tennis, I suck. I tried. It just didn't work for me.
It's not for everybody, and I didn't realize how hard it was until I tried to coach. You know, I really believe that there are players and there are coaches, and oftentimes people can't do both. Sometimes, you know, it's possible, but for me, I didn't realize that tennis was such a tough sport because I've been playing it for so long. So when I first got to LA, it was like the obvious job would be to teach tennis, do private lessons, or do this or that. And for me, I used to find myself thinking, are you looking at the ball? How are you missing the ball like this? Are you, it's just a swing and a miss, and it's just no hand and eye coordination. And I just didn't realize that I had to take a step back and say, no one has played tennis for as long as you.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. But now this week, Tiana Taylor, she drops a song called Made It, and I love it because I love the vision. Did you get to see it?
I did. It's so cute.
Okay, so I love the vision behind it. I love that she represents, you know, the people that are graduating, that you made it, no matter what's going on, especially, you know, a lot of people in the midst and feelings about the situation that everyone's in. And she made this video and made it like a positive way. So question I have for you, like in your career, when do you know that you made it?
I think that question is just too subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've definitely had periods where I've seen success, but I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more. Mm-hmm. So it could be different things. It could have been my first win, my first tennis tournament ever that I won at 9 years old, 10 and unders. It could have been when I got better and better. It could have been when I graduated college. It could have been when I hosted 106 in Park for 2 seconds. It could have been when I got my first job on television ever. Could be now with the Oval, you know what I mean? So it's a very subjective answer. I think there are little things along the way that let you know that you're on your path. And to me, that's successful.
And I think like just for the generation now, I think they feel as if like, you know, you got to rush to get to where you want to get to. And that's successful. But the thing is, through that path, it's a journey. So you're going to stop anywhere. And that's part of your success. That's part of your story. That's part of your testimony. And I just think that, like for me, for the longest, I was just like, I gotta go. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. But then I had to like stop myself. Like, okay, you need to breathe. You need to get your stuff together and breathe. Because when you're overthinking and you're over aggressive, it does not come out the way that you want it to come out.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and you'll miss a lot of things, and it's just plans change. You have to make the plan, but you have to be, you know, able to adapt to a different plan and a different road and journey. And I just think that things always change. I would have loved to have been on a hit TV show at 21. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would have loved to graduate early at 18. You know, there are things that you want to do and then they don't happen, and then it doesn't matter. You have to keep living life. And if you just go, you'll miss so many things along the way. Yep. And that's part of what shapes your personality. And the same way you say what molded you growing up into the adult that you are today, you can't just stop that at 18. There's a bunch of stuff that happens after 18 and after all these years that are really big contributors to who you are.
Wow. So what is like one thing that you can tell to the old you? Let's say 16-year-old. What is one thing that you can tell to the old you? So 16-year-old playing tennis, what is one like word that you can give to you?
16-year-old Ashmo. 16 was funny because I had just kind of taken a break from tennis because I was going hard. I thought I was going to go professional after the 8th grade. I was preparing to get homeschooled, go pro, turn pro at 15, and retire by 25. I had plans. And then I kind of just chilled out, and I played high school tennis, which professional tennis players don't do. High school tennis and college tennis, great. They're great things, but that's just not what you do on the way to pro. You would be wasting quality years and quality, I don't want to say years, but the taxing, tennis is taxing on your body. All sports are taxing on your body. So if you're going to go pro, you might as well go pro sooner than later. So to play tennis for 4 years in high school and then play tennis for 4 years in college, it would just be unnecessarily taxing. So for me at that point, I would probably just say relax and have fun, which is very much what I did. I got into radio really heavy at that time, probably 14 going into 15. By 16, I was annoyed. Yeah, I was into it. I was trying to figure out how I was going to make what I wanted to happen. So that's what I would tell myself. Just keep going exactly like you're doing. Just keep staying in your room, making up plans, and coming out with them.
I think a lot of women are dominating the industry right now. So who do you look up to? Who's the number one woman that you look up to?
Oh, the number one? I can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom.
Oh, okay. Top. Yeah, that's hard. You're right. Top.
Yeah, like my mother actually just finished her last set of classes to receive her doctoral degree. And yeah, so now all she has to do is her dissertation, which is a whole nother beast in itself. But she finished probably 3 or 4 years of classes in a year and a half or something like that. So her discipline is definitely amazing. She's not really like the athlete in my family, but that discipline on that education side is very inspiring, and just always wanting to achieve more is definitely something I look forward to doing.
Wow. Okay. So you had quoted something called visualize your highest self, then start showing up as her, right? So I get like a lot of DMs about this. A lot of like young girls fighting to figure out like their identity. So what is the best advice you can give to, you know, younger girls that are fighting for identity and trying to figure out, you know, who they are?
It's tough now. It's always tough, but I think it's more tough now with social media. Yeah. But I'm just really big on not letting people tell you who you are, which that's all social media does all day, is tell you who you are and what you like and, you know, all that. So I just, as much as you can, try to figure out, or if you knew, try to remember who you are, what you like to do, what actually sets, it's so cheesy, but what sets your soul on fire, what you feel excited doing, what you would do. I always say your passion is what you would do for free. So if your bills are paid and you don't have to think about anything, what would you do all day? And for me, I would tell stories. I would make people feel things. And so that's why I know, that's how I know that I'm walking in my passion. And so for younger girls, I would just say, hang out with the right crew. And the right crew is the right crew for you. So, I mean, I had girlfriends that were, you know, not into school. I had girlfriends that were getting straight A's. You know what I mean? Like, you have your core group of girlfriends, and they might not be into the same thing as you, but as long as they're at least moving forward and they're not dragging you down, then that's a good set of people to be with. And there, you guys can all find out what you like together, and it might not be the same things, and you might learn a lot from each other. So it's kind of just make sure you figure out who you are before you let the world tell you who you are, because they're going to tell you who you are, and they're going to tell you what you like. Which is unbelievable.
And like one thing I always say is just remember your why. Because I feel like, you know, we're all going to go through certain things. But once you remember your why, you remember your purpose, you remember why you're doing this, everything's going to feel so much better. And like, that's like one of the best advice I can always give. Just remember your why and know who you want, not even know who you want to be, but just know who you are. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's one thing.
That's it. And for me, I always hung out with older people. That's just always been my thing. So I learn a lot from them. And even from them, I learn from other people. So they always say, one of my girlfriends always says, you know, have 3 mentors, not just one, but 3. One that's, you know, the same level as you, so you're networking sideways. One that's just a little bit higher than you. And then one that's just feels astronomical and like you can't reach what they have. And those are your mentors. And those are the people you get advice from. Are you going to get advice from somebody that you're doing better than? No, you're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, okay, so now I got a couple of questions from some fans. We're going to dig deep. So the first one is Ashley single?
That's look, my friend Shay said, and find a good mentor. On it.
Yes.
What's up? My friends are in here. All right, go ahead. What did you just ask me? Sorry.
No, you're okay. One of the questions from one of the fans is Ashley single?
What? Who's asking?
Is Ashley single? That's what they asked.
I can't hear you. This is breaking up. Hold on. To the next question. It's not really It's not really breaking up. I just want to move on to the You don't have to go reset your Wi-Fi.
I put the volume up. I said, Lord, don't let me mess. Don't let my Wi-Fi mess up.
Nah, it's not. I was
That was funny.
Go ahead. Next question.
Okay. Oh gosh. So another fan said, I've had a hard time with accepting my dark skin tone. Any advice that you can give to me to help build my self-confidence?
This sounds cheesy, but change your thoughts, change your life. So I feel like if you just start to tell yourself things, you'll believe them. So tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that your skin color doesn't matter, even if you know that it does or you think that it does. It doesn't matter. And then just walk around. Have you ever met somebody where you're like, they really live in their own world? Yeah. Like, it feels like nothing is penetrating them. Whether they're annoying or nice or smart or dumb, whatever it is, you just look at them and you say, you really are just floating. That's what you gotta do. You gotta float. That's what I would tell young girls to do. And we're lucky that we live in a era where we have literally changed the face of beauty. So pick somebody you think is beautiful and let them motivate you every day. There's every shade. There's a famous person in every shade right now. Pick one.
I think the tongue is very powerful. So if you're saying stuff over and over, negative thoughts is going to come in your head. You're going to keep thinking.
That's why I mean it's the thoughts. Because you can somebody might have told you the power of the tongue, and so you purposely don't say things out loud, but your thoughts are
in your head.
Yeah, it's not there.
Wow. Okay, good. Another question. What is the weirdest thing about you?
Weird? I'm a germaphobe. That's it. So that might not be weird in itself, but it causes me to do very weird things. Don't
It's
ask me
good around this time.
I can't think of an example, but I'm a germaphobe. So if you think about something weird that I would do to avoid germs, that's it. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I got one. Say we're going to New York, right? And we have to catch a taxi cab.
Is this pre-quarantine or is this during quarantine?
See, that's hard. It's during quarantine. I'm not touching anything.
The germaphobe is on a whole new level right now.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's just say before quarantine.
Okay, so go ahead. I cut your question off. So before quarantine.
Okay. Say we're in New York City, you know, we're having fun and stuff like that, and we need to catch a taxi. Now, would you touch the doorknob? Like how? I mean, yeah, the handle. Like what would happen? Or you just be perfectly fine?
I mean, have to touch the door handle. How am I getting in the car?
I know, but you said you're a germaphobe.
No, I have wipes in my bag.
Okay, see, that was the answer. I needed to know if you were gonna pull out the wipes. Okay. I think that's
why I'm so mad about the quarantine. Actually, when it first started, I'm somebody that has wipes at all times. And now all of a sudden, because you guys want to get scared of germs and corona,
there's no more wipes.
There's no more wipes. So now I don't have my general usual supply. I didn't appreciate that. It's coming back around, but it was tough. It was a tough month and a half. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I went everywhere looking for wipes. Like it was hard finding wipes, especially in Jersey. Like the lines are around the corner. Like it was just too much. But things are starting to get a little bit better now, so it's not too hectic.
Thank God.
Okay. Next question. Who do you want?
That's true. My brother's in here. My brother said that I would have opened the door with my jacket, with my hand in my jacket, kind of like a. That's what I'm saying. So those are the things that are weird. It's not like my germophobia isn't weird, but the things that it causes me to do, and I'm not embarrassed about it. But go ahead.
I mean, it's okay. You own it. It is what it is. Next question. Who do you want to work with in the future and why?
I'll say it every day. You can ask me every day, and I will say Angela Bassett and Felicia Rashad.
Okay, that's perfect.
Every day I will say it. I mean, obviously Meryl Streep, Denzel Washington, Nia Long. I mean, there's a million, but Felicia Rashad and Angela Bassett. I'll say it every day. Okay,
that's perfect. Okay, last question. As a Black woman, what is the hardest obstacle that you faced in the industry?
I think this goes back to the young lady who asked about the brown skin identity issues. It's just a mindset. It is real. I don't want to take away from anybody's story, my own or anybody else's story, but it's a mindset. So if one door isn't open, go around. Find a window, find a door. You know what I mean? You don't harp on the fact that this particular no is because you were brown, because there's going to be another no because you're short, and another no because you look like this or you look like that. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of no's. So you kind of just have to. It sounds like I'm not answering the question, or like I'm not putting the weight on it that it needs. You know what I mean? Like, because I know people really do feel like I'm a brown-skinned woman, I'm a Black woman, and they're down, or I know that glass ceilings are real. But I'm just saying, for you and your mentality, that's what I choose to think about it like.
Okay, I like that answer. I'm looking at your camera in the back. What is it called?
Oh yeah. That's one of my.
Do you actually use it?
I do. I have that one. I have 3 of the bigger version that keep breaking. So who made this? They could send me 2 for free actually, because I bought enough of them.
No, I actually just ordered one of those.
The small one or the wider one?
The smaller one. Because I want to test it out first. Because I like taking pictures and stuff like that. So I was like, this could be something good to create memories. And I want to do like a book and like put the pictures in there and stuff like that.
You know, it's so funny. It feels like a new idea, but you know that's what we used to do, right? Like that's what our parents did. That's what we did. We had photo albums. We took a photo, got it developed, printed it, and put it in a book. But now it just feels like, because we have the ability to make great books. By the way, one of my best friends.
Let me see.
This is not mine. My best friend out there. But it's just the fact that you can print it out and put it on a book. You know what I mean? It's not the same as the photo albums that we used to have when we were younger, and you had to slide it in the little plastic. I mean, it comes up. An Instagram ad will probably pop up right now that I've said it, but to make your own book that looks like that. And I think that you are on your way with your little Fujifilm Instamax camera.
Well, thank you so much for being part of Tech Talks. I really appreciate you being on here. I love having women. I love the men too, but I love having me some women on Tech Talks. We'll stay in touch. Stay safe. Okay. Yeah. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.